Hello and welcome to Growth Philosophy Morning, a bite-sized weekly podcast that aims to help you think better and upgrade your life. And I'm your host, Salik. Today is the first episode of this podcast, so I wanted to begin by covering a very important aspect of growth mindset, because that's one of the key focus of this podcast after all, growth mindset. So let's talk today about the 5 essential things you need to know about growth mindset. So here are 5 things that I believe are essential for you to know about growth mindset. 1, it is not a new thing. 2, it is not a passing fad. 3, growth mindset is essential for your growth and success. 4, it is essential for dealing with setbacks. And 5, having a growth mindset is important for your own happiness and for that of others around you. Now, let me expand on those points. So, growth mindset is not new. That's the first important thing you need to know about growth mindset. It has been around for a very, very long time. Perhaps ever since human beings actually started to think critically and think about more than just hunting and gathering food. So I guess ever since the beginning of civilization, the growth mindset has existed. Perhaps not in a structured way that we know of it now, but the idea has always been there, because even though we have only named it recently, we have categorized it now, we have defined it. Only because we have done that now does not mean that it wasn't there before. It's like saying air doesn't exist until we called it air. Oxygen didn't exist until we discovered it and called it oxygen. It's always been there. So it was just a matter of defining and categorizing it recently. And recently it's been gathering more momentum and popularity because of its importance, right? So let's just deal with that concept about how it's new. Because a lot of people think growth mindset is a new thing, but it is definitely not new. It has existed since the beginning of civilization. Now the second point about growth mindset not being a passing fad sort of ties in with the first point, right? So if you think it's a new thing, then there is a risk that it's probably a passing fad. And it's a normal thought. We come across hundreds of different things every year, and a lot of them don't exist for very long. Fads are all around us, so it's very normal for you to wonder if growth mindset is indeed a passing fad, but it's actually not, right? Just think about it this way. If something has been there since the very beginning of civilization, or if something basically is a primary, fundamental part of us, how can it be a passing fad, right? Because growth mindset isn't just a theory, a concept that someone discovered recently and then is trying to popularize. It's a part of the way we think, right? Growth mindset is basically about how you perceive things and how you act and how you think. It's about having a better way of thinking. So this idea, this notion of having a better way of thinking is not going to go out of fashion, even if the term itself does. So growth mindset, the phrase, might not exist in several years down the line, but the concept won't go away. It's always been there, and it will always be there. Like hundreds of years later, it will still be there. And that brings me to that third essential point about how growth mindset is essential for growth and success, because that's actually another aspect of it that confirms why it's not a passing fad. Because growth mindset enables you to grow and improve. Having a growth mindset helps you to do the things that moves you forward. It helps you improve. It helps you grow. And without having a growth mindset, it becomes really challenging to keep on moving forward, to make any progress in your life, in your career, in whatever area of your life you think about. So, because growth mindset isn't just about progressing in one aspect of your life or one area of your life. It's actually essential for every area of your life. Because like I said, it's a way of thinking. It's about adopting practices that will help you to grow and improve. It's about thinking better. So when you think better, it helps you to move forward, it helps you to grow, it helps you to succeed. Without thinking better, without having a mental model that enables you to think in a way that helps you progress and grow and improve, you just cannot grow and improve. You just cannot move forward. Right? And this is actually one of the critical factors that distinguish people who do well and those who don't. People who don't do very well are usually people who have a very, how shall I say this? They have a mindset that doesn't help them grow and improve. So their mindset is actually the opposite of having a growth mindset. So their mindset stops them from moving forward. Their mindset stops them from growing and improving. So if you want to grow and improve, if you want to succeed in life, it is essential to have a growth mindset. Now, you might have it already. And if you're listening to this podcast, it's extremely likely that you already do have it, even though you have not really thought about it. Because most people are actually quite resilient, they just get on with shit. And that is one of the critical factors of growth mindset. So don't worry about it. Don't worry about whether you have a growth mindset or not. We can talk about that topic another day. But let's just stick to the point today and realize that one of the essential aspects of growth mindset is the fact that it is vital for growth and success. So that's the third point. The fourth point is the fact that having a growth mindset is essential for dealing with setbacks. As I mentioned already, without having a growth mindset, it becomes extremely challenging to grow and improve. That also means that when you come across setbacks, when you have failures or challenges, when you get stuck with something, if you don't have a growth mindset, it will be nearly impossible, if not impossible, to actually get unstuck. So it will be like you start with something, you hit a snag, and then whether you move forward or not will depend on the mindset that you have. So if you have a growth mindset, you will figure shit out. You'll find a way and you'll get on with it. But if you don't have a growth mindset, or rather those that don't have a growth mindset will keep on being stuck. And actually all you have to do to see an example of this is just have a close look around you, to the people around you. There are those who are getting things done. There are those who are doing well in life. And I'm not just talking about financially well. Because success isn't just defined by a financial success, right? So there are people around you who are doing really well in their own lives, in their careers, in their relationships, in whatever area that you think about, in health, wellness, everything. So people who are doing well, of course, they have dealt with challenges. I mean, who doesn't deal with challenges and failures and setbacks? Everyone has to deal with setbacks, right? So those who keep on getting ahead, those who keep on doing well, are the ones who have figured out how to deal with those challenges and setbacks. And that is what growth mindset is about. That is a very critical characteristic of having a growth mindset. And that is yet another reason why growth mindset is so important. So that was the fourth essentially important thing that I wanted you to know about growth mindset. And here is the fifth one. It's importance for happiness. Happiness, everyone wants that. Everyone wants to be happy. The whole world is full of people who want to be happy. That's often, if not always, the core reason why people do what they do. Because they want to be happy. And if you don't have a growth mindset, becoming happy, attaining that state of happiness and contentment and joy becomes very difficult. When you don't have a growth mindset, it becomes a challenge to deal with the curveballs life throws at you. Every time life gives you lemonade, you will be stuck there. If you don't have a growth mindset, you will wonder about why shit happens to you. The whole concept of victim mindset is a key component for people who don't have a growth mindset. Whereas if you have a growth mindset, you'll figure things out, you'll keep on moving forward, and you will be happy. So people who are happy they will always have a growth mindset. They will have a mindset that allows them and enables them and empowers them to be happy. So that was yet another essential aspect of growth mindset. And here is the really cool thing. Adopting a growth mindset isn't actually that hard. Anyone and everyone can adopt it. It doesn't even take that long. It is not that difficult. It's not very complicated. It's actually quite simple. It just involves making some fundamental changes in the way you think, which then enables you to move forward in leaps and bounds. It empowers you to do the things you want to do in life, to have the things you want in life, to go where you want to go, to achieve what you want to achieve, including happiness. So if you're interested to learn more about how you can adopt a growth mindset, tune into next week's episode of the Growth Philosophy Morning. But as it stands, that's it for this week's episode. Make sure you subscribe to the podcast on anchor.fm so you don't miss out on an episode. And don't forget to join me next week for the next episode. Thank you for listening. I hope you have a great Monday.